Oh, my bad. I didn't even know I was live. I'm sitting up here. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Let me run my brand. I didn't even know the thing was working. I had got on with my cell phone and it said that I didn't have an internet connection, y'all. So I had to go and grab my laptop real quick. So I apologize. Let me go ahead and roll my brand out. I apologize for the delay. All right, let's get it cracking. Hi, this is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. Holla. All right, so sorry for the delay, everybody. This is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. This morning, I have some ramblings, things that's on my mind. And like I said, what I'm going to start doing is rather than keep them to myself, I'm just going to hop on here and share with you. So, how's everybody doing this morning? Everybody cool, getting ready. What is this? Sunday, getting ready for your Sunday morning. All right, so I've been doing a lot of watching around what's going on in the space, and so far everybody's talking about fresh and fit. They lost their demonetization, and some people are celebrating, and other people sad because they were fans and different things of that nature. And I don't know what happened in their situation. And from looking at all of the people that have done response videos about this, I don't think Fresh and Fit really know why they got demonetized. But I do know this. I do know that sometimes YouTube will demonetize a platform in error. That has happened to me before. And sometimes, you can get so many strikes on your channel, or you could go outside of the guidelines. And when that happens, if you are a first time offender, if this is your first time, they would do something like what they call sending you over to YouTube University so that you can, go through the rules, the guidelines. They make sure you understand everything. And then they will give you your monetization back probably within the next 60 to 90 days, however harsh the penalty was, depending on what you did. So I'm not too worried about no Fresh and Fit. To be honest with you, I'm not losing sleep over them at all. But one thing that I did have on my mind, I was thinking about, my relationship with Black women that I know throughout my life, friendships, family, etc., etc. And one thing that I really, really want to impart tonight. Well, not tonight, this morning. Well, it's dark over here where I am still, but it's probably morning time to a lot of you all. you know, these relationships that we as women have with each other so complex. So complex, especially Black women. And I think that it goes beyond colorism. Like I listen to Chrissy a lot. I listen to her talk about colorism, and I listen to Rashida. And even though there are a lot of valid points that they have about colorism and how it affects dark skinned women and stuff like that. I don't think that it really is the apex of our problems as Black women, to be honest with you. Because I have many people. I have a daughter that's light skinned. I have friends that are light skinned. So and it never really bothered my friendship as far as the colorism. I don't see that as being the big thing that's like dividing us as women. So I don't know, like I respect Rashida, I respect Chrissy, but the colorism conversation for me, and that's the reason why you never hardly ever hear me mention it over here on this channel. Some of it is valid, but for the most part, it's like, you know, it's not really the end all be all of what is the problem with our relationship as women. Like I said, you got some dark skinned bitches. There are women that are dark skinned that are bitches, okay? And you got light skinned bitches, so I've experienced them all. Got good people that are dark skinned, got good chicks that are light skinned. I've experienced them all. So to me, is that right there is something that we need to remove as far as the colorism complaint, because I think it is divisive. I think it divides us as women. I honestly do. And not only that, but to me, it's more or less a innate hatred that some of us have, a disdain that we have for each other. And it's always going back to a man. That's what I think it is. I think that it's something that we as women have something always going back to our lack of validation, something that we're not getting in our lives. There's a void, there's an emptiness inside some of you that you've never ever been able to fulfill. And so you take this lack of fulfillment out on other women. That's what I really think it is. That's the reason why some of you accept abuse from everybody, not just men, but anybody. Some of you are doormats. There's a woman that I know, and she's a sweet woman, my cousin's wife, and she just, I'm just gonna put it, she really comes off as a doormat. She's a servant to all. And it really pains me to see that with her, because it's like she's trying to get validation by serving other people. So, like when we're at family gatherings, I'll just give you an example of what I'm talking about so you'll have some kind of insight as to what I'm saying. We're at a family gathering. All the other women and their husbands and family members, even if whether they're single or married, we're all sitting around the table. We're all, enjoying each other's company, laughing, joking, etc. She's the one person in the whole room that's up pulling people's plates off the table. She's in the kitchen washing dishes. She's making sure everybody's water glass is filled and stuff like that. And on the surface, it looks like, okay, she's, fulfilling a service to the family. But nobody is asking her to do these things. She's doing this on her own in somebody else's house. And so my cousin Jackie, she kind of came to me and she said, "You know what? I'm kind of, uncomfortable with this person, in my house doing this. Like I wish that Dana would sit her behind down and enjoy being with the rest of the family, but she's up like I paid her to be my personal servant, at my event. And I didn't pay her to do this. She's just doing it on her own." And and people are not really, how can I say, thankful to you for being in this servitude thing. They just kind of take you for granted. So as the years went by and she's doing this, like people just kind of said, okay, this is Dana, this is what she does, so she's over here filling the glass cups, and people are just nonchalantly raising their cup up like, here, serve me. You know what I'm saying? Refill my glass. Like they that's what they think of you. Now you're just a novelty. Nobody's grateful. Nobody's saying, oh, you didn't have to do this or none of that type of stuff. They're just kind of like, okay, yeah, this is what she does. Oh yeah, I'm done with my plate. Here, come get it. That's how it becomes. And so I tried to sit down and talk to her and just try to ask her, why did she feel that she need to, serve everybody all the time at every function? Like you're not actually enjoying yourself at the function. Like you're up working 24/7. And I found out that it was because she didn't feel comfortable with the other women in the family. So, in order to avoid confrontation and in order to avoid having to interact with the women in the family, she just busied herself at every single function. And this is how she was getting through the functions. She was not actually enjoying herself at these functions. And I thought that was pretty sad. It made me feel really, really bad for her when she told me that. Because there's no way that you could be a member of the family and feel as if you're marginalized. Basically, she described being marginalized and that she set to the side, and this is the only way she feels comfortable interacting. And so I thought to myself, like, well, did we make her feel uncomfortable? Did we do anything, to give her the feeling that she had to like be in this mode of servitude, like was that it's more comfortable to be the server than to actually be the guest? Good morning. Hi, Cassandra. Hi, Mela. Mela says, yep, she kept busy because she couldn't stand the family. Exactly. And I've been there too, with my husband's family. Like I couldn't stand, interacting with his family either. But, I went ahead and I did, the interactions with them because, I didn't want to make it seem as if I was estranged from them or avoiding them. And at some point, that's what it began to feel like with Dana. It felt like she was avoiding everybody. So then it got to me that a couple of women in the family had been saying things about the fact that Dana married into the family with 2 kids already. And so, because my cousin didn't have children of his own, and here he is, he married this woman who already had 2 little girls, they didn't feel as if she was good enough. And see, that's that judgment piece that I don't like amongst women. And it's not just a black man thing, it's a woman thing, I believe. Now, some of these very same women that were sitting up here judging Dana were also single mothers themselves, mind you. So you just got old and your kids got older and they're grown and they're out the house. And now you can sit in judgment of this woman and make her feel uncomfortable. And so here come the snide remarks. And see, I had never paid attention to it because, when it's not happening to you, you know, you don't care pretty much. And not that you don't care, but you're just not aware of it because it's not happening to you. You're not the center of the ridicule or of the gossip. So Dana was the center of ridicule and gossip for a number of years in the family because of the two children. And I thought that it was unbelievable that these women would do that to her. And so I said something. I don't really like to hold back. I pretty much, am an honest person. I'm going to, speak the truth, whether it makes me look silly or not. But if I feel as if an injustice has been done, I'm going to say something. So one day we were at a family function and Dana was just walking around doing her servitude thing as if, this was going to get people to be on her side. And I pulled Dana. I said, you know what, Dana, won't you have a seat? Won't you just sit down, have a seat? Let's talk. And she didn't want to. Like, it was really, really hard to get her to sit with the family. So I opened up the conversation. I was like, you know what? I think that the best thing that could have happened to this family is for you to come here. And I said, and I have gotten to know what a wonderful person that you are. So I started off with giving her the recognition and the admiration that she deserved. Because I don't think that the older women in the family were pouring that into her. I don't think so. And I think that because they were miserable, they wanted this woman to feel miserable too. And I think they were low-key jealous of her as well. Because she had two beautiful daughters. Dana is like, how can I say, she's a Caribbean woman. So she's not FDA. She's not foundational Black. So she's kind of got this mixed girl thing going on with her hair, but she's a little dark skinned. But her daughters are two beautiful mixed girls. So her daughters look mixed. So whoever she procreated with, she made some beautiful as guys would call them, exotical looking daughters. And I think that the family was jealous of her and her daughters, their features, how beautiful they were. And so they launched this smear campaign against Dana unjustifiably. So every little thing that Dana did, it was wrong. Every little thing. And every little thing that she did was taken out of proportion and out of context on purpose. And this was the doing of jealous old bitches in the family. And so I will tell you today, the problem with Black women isn't colorism. It's not that. The problem with Black women is that we are empty. We ain't got no business. There's a void inside of each and every one of us that we're trying to fill, and we're filling that void in toxic ways. So we center on a target, and it's usually another woman. And then in order to make ourselves feel better, we'll start tearing that other woman down. And so, this morning I got to thinking about how, we do that. We do that a lot as women. And it's something that we need to be aware of. I always talk about self-awareness on my channel because I don't think that a lot of us want to even fathom the thought that we are demonic in some of our interactions with each other. I don't think that some of us even want to fathom the thought. Like, I've had things that happened to me over the course of my lifetime where I would think that I'm absolutely right about something. And then later on, I will find out that I'm wrong. Now, I'll put it to you like this, ladies. As human beings, we are imperfect. We're going to make mistakes. We're not infallible. So I don't want anyone running around here thinking that they got to be perfect and all this type of stuff, because if you try to be super, super perfect, like you do nothing wrong, to err is human. So that's an impossible feat in and of itself. When you were born into this world, you were born imperfect. When you were born into this world, you were born making a mistake. And so I believe that we are born to make these mistakes, but learn from the mistakes. Part of the learning process is the mistake in and of itself. And some people learn from the school of hard knocks, where the mistake that they make is a lifelong mistake, but you still learn from it. Nevertheless. Now, to me, the biggest fool is the person that will make a mistake and then say within themselves that they're still right, and they continue to make the same mistake over and over again, not learning anything, refusing to admit wrong. And the first step in admitting that you have a problem is to admit that there is a problem to begin with. And that's the problem, I think, especially with Black women. We want to be right all the time. We cannot be wrong. It's either our way or the highway. And I've had that mentality before. Even with raising my kids, I thought, I'm right. I'm the mama and I'm right. There's nothing that I can learn from these little ones that I'm raising, because I'm right. Come to find out, there's a lot that my children have taught me over the years. And I wasn't always right all the time. So do I dig in my heels and never admit being wrong? Or do I acknowledge the lesson and move forward? So in today's live stream, I want to talk about acknowledging life lessons and moving forward, and not being that same asshole that you were yesterday, today. There's an old saying, hey, at one point I used to be an asshole, but I'm not anymore. So with the women in my family, we sat down and I told them, I say, I think that you all have been very unfair in your treatment of our sister, Dana. And to this day, this is about maybe 10 years ago that we all had this powwow. To this day, Dana is with the family. She has not had any children with my cousin. Now, I know that Dana can have children. Maybe they didn't want to have kids. Maybe he can't have kids. I don't know. Dana can obviously have kids. So the moral of the story is, those women should have minded their own business, and they had no right to judge that woman the way that they did. Absolutely no right. And after we had that conversation, and people were able to open up, some people were not ready to open up. You know how you got some people that still want to, keep the garbage going. They want to still, smear this woman's reputation, and they still want to say these hurtful things about her. But come to find out, now Dana is sitting at the table 10 years later, and she's accepted. And those women that we identified as being troublemakers, we don't invite them anywhere anymore. So now they're on the outskirts. So look at that. They sought to keep her on the outskirts and ended up on the outskirts themselves. And see, ladies, that is what ends up happening when you let jealousy rule over you and your life and your dealings with other women. If you seek to put a woman on the outskirts and you're doing everything in your power to smear that woman, inevitably, the evil that you intended for her will end up coming back on you. Inevitably. So, I sit up here and I say it all the time. I had a long journey from being judgmental. I had a long journey from, thinking that I was always right all the time. And sometimes I still think I'm right all the time. It, old habits, they just die hard. And you have to keep working on yourself. So I'm not going to say that it's easy to change, especially if you're of a certain age and you're kind of set in your ways. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, but it is very possible to change at any age. It's very possible if you're willing to become self aware and open your eyes and be open and receptive. Now, a long time ago, my daughter and I, we had um, all types of strife with one another, disrespect, all of that. And today we are closer than ever. But that was not anything that she did on her part alone. That she did a lot of work too, but I had to do a lot of changing. I had to, look at myself differently and see what it was that I was doing wrong. Now there were some things that I was absolutely right about and righteous about, but there were a lot of things that I had to say, okay, this isn't, conducive. You need to change your way of thinking because this is a new day, this is a new time. This is where these kids are at right now, and they're not at the same level or the same time frame as where you were back then. So I had to understand a lot of different things about, dealing with my children, even my adult children, because all of them are adults now. And it's a process. I tell you, it's a process. Parenting never ends. Even when your children get grown, you're parenting now once the kids are grown from an aspect of advisory. So you're not, running their lives. You're not telling them what to do. You're not the end all be all or G force. You're just in an advisory mode once your kids get grown and they leave the house. So there are certain things that you have to do as far as letting go and not wanting to just take over all the time. And I know a lot of us love our kids. We just want to hold on and we don't want to, you know, see anything bad happen to them. And so you're just trying to, steer them in the direction that you think they should go, but they're wanting to go somewhere else with their life. And so you have to let go. Once you give the advice is out there, they're grown, they're old enough to listen, and if they want to take the advice, that is their prerogative. If they don't want to take the advice, that is their prerogative. And as a parent, when your children get grown, you have to accept this. You have to accept this and give your children space to be adults. Now, with these new times, with all this inflation, coming off of this pandemic, it was really, really hard. I remember when my oldest daughter, her son, and few other people had to come live with me during the pandemic, and it was extremely uncomfortable for me because I had gotten used to living alone. I really enjoyed just being by myself. And so I had all these people in my house. And I'm going to be honest with you, your children do have a sense of entitlement sometimes because you're the parent and they were used to, being under your home and under your care and guidance. So they're used to you taking care of everything. So sometimes when your grown children come back home, there will be that sense of entitlement that they don't have to help you with any bills. There will be that sense of entitlement that they don't have to, necessarily pitch in with the housework. There will be that sense of entitlement. You're going to deal with stuff like that. And then on top of that, they're going to be wanting you to be a babysitter on top of everything else. There's a lot of entitlements that go on, especially with the dynamics of children and how they deal with their mothers. Now, fathers, maybe not so much so. They may not, leave the kids on the father or expect the father to cook, clean, and pay the bills like they expect mama to do. Especially if you were a good parent and you've always done that. They're going to come back home sometimes. Now, I'm not saying all of them, and they're going to have this expectation. I would say my son, he's always been pretty independent, and my oldest daughter and my baby girl has always been independent. I only had one child that was not very independent. It took a long, long time to get her to independence, but there were other issues with her, involving other things that we just, really are found out about her and we're dealing with. And I'm very proud of her progress. Very, very proud of it. And I'm blessed to be there to help her through that. So, like I said, the parenting never ever ends. Even after your kids get grown, they're going to go through things in life and they're going to need you. They're going to need your advice. They're going to need you to guide them through. And hell, some of the stuff they go through, you're not going to even have an idea how to deal with it because you've never dealt with anything like that yourself. And so the only thing that you can do is, just try to help them through the situation. But definitely, it doesn't end. It's an ongoing thing. Ongoing. And like I said, these are just ramblings. Hey, Juju, what's going on? She says, Faith, good morning. Blessings. Blessings to you as well. So I have had to, go through a lot of that. My 47 years of being on this earth, I've been through a lot. I've been a single mother. I've been married. I've been widowed. Um, just a lot of different things going on. I had to deal with children that had mental issues. Like I said, my baby girl, I knew from the time that she was, I want to say about 4 or 5, that she had something going on with her because she didn't really talk until she was 5. And then I found out she was autistic. And so had to go through different things with her. And now I have a child where I'm finding out in her adulthood that she has a personality disorder. And we're just, dealing with that. And so you go through the ups and downs. You go through the ups and downs with your family. And you have to just be there. Like with the personality disorder thing, that's something that's totally out of my realm. I had to lean heavily on Dee Darrell and her therapists and people that were working with her, just to guide me through, because I was like not familiar at all with the situation, or how to handle it or how to be there as a support system for her. But luckily I have friends like Dee Darrell. I had she has a really good team, and we're able to help her get through it. And now she's completely independent. She's able to adult. Does she have her times where she has to take breaks? Yes, she does. And when that happens, I understand that I or her siblings have to be there for her. It's not going to be a thing that's going to be that's going to stop. It's an ongoing thing. It's going to be ongoing. And so moving forward with clarity, moving forward with understanding, it has really, really helped a lot. And also, taking classes and, becoming more informed about the person's disability. And all of that is a labor of love that you got to have for your family member. All of that is a labor of love. Just taking the time out to do all of that is a labor of love. And I know, like I'm busy, I have a hectic schedule, but I still got to take time out to do what is necessary for those in my life that mean the most to me. Absolutely. Now, I shared about 3 years ago the incident between me and my daughter, and was angry and going on and rambling about that. And that was before we found out about her disability. And it has been a process. It has been something that I've had to sacrifice a lot of things in order to be there. First of all, my career, because if this person is going through episodes and stuff like that, I can't be on the road. So that's the reason why I haven't really come back on here and done content like that, because I had to give that up. That was a sacrifice I had to make. And I had to find other things to do so that I can be supportive. Um, and it was worth it. I don't regret it at all. Not at all. So, there will always be women like the women that I described in my family that will sit up there and they will try to smear a person, tarnish a person's reputation, use every little thing that they can find against that person because they're empty on the inside. And they themselves don't have no business of their own. And so, getting back to my original thought about how Black women interact with each other, this is the type of shit that we do. There's this generalized hatred that a lot of us have for one another. Like, I remember distinctly going to a party. And I remember at that party, the women were smoking and drinking. And it was like, I never really have been the type of person that liked, loud, talking and stuff like that. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just not my thing. But what I don't like about a lot of women, a lot of Black women in particular, if one woman isn't doing exactly what all the other women are doing, then she becomes the target. So they want to drink, they want to, smoke weed, they want to be loud and do the booty clapping and all that other stuff, and I don't want to act like that. I'm sitting, with my little glass of wine, got my legs crossed, and I'm cool. I'm watching y'all do y'all thing. But it's not good enough for them to let you just do you. Like you're letting them do them, but they can't let you do you. And so, like I said, it always comes down to when a man is involved. So one of the women was getting loud and belligerent with, one of the men at the party. And the other women were laughing and cackling and what have you. I'm just off to the side, sipping my wine, looking at them at the corner of my eye. And I'm like, hey, I'm not in this shit. Y'all do what y'all do. And so the guy got to calling all of them hoes, every last one of them. And then he made it a point to separate me from the group. He said, except for her. She's over here. She's not loud, belligerent, acting stupid like the rest of y'all is acting. And why the hell did he do that? So now, if I wasn't a target before, now I'm really a target. And so, because this guy separated me from the group, basically saying I wasn't like them, now the group has to prove that I am like them. So now they're going to dig up some old shit that they know about me from a long time ago when I was a kid. Oh, well, I remember back in the day, Faith did such and such, such and such. Oh no, she just like us because she was over here doing such and such in high school. And mind you, I'm like 25. I'm like 25 and you bringing up some stuff I did when I was 13, 14. Exactly, Q Savage, the sisterhood effect. So, anytime there's some chicks that's doing, like, here's the thing. If you want to be doing your drinking, your loud talking, your signifying, your booty clapping, and all that type of stuff, do you? Do you, boo? You know what I'm saying? I'm not even saying don't do you. But just know that if I'm over here and I decide not to partake, don't try to drag me in there with you when somebody call you out. And that is what normally ends up happening. So I have this thing that I talk about called a better class of women. And the loud portion of the sisterhood on YouTube, the loud and wrong sisters, they got offended because I was saying we need a better class of women. We need to cut out all this, loud talking and being belligerent and stuff like that. And so, because I called for us to be better women than we were before, now there's this smear campaign. You all get where I'm coming from now. You get the correlation. So now there's going to be a smear campaign. The loud, belligerent hoes are going to now try to smear me up and say, oh, she can't be a better class of women because her and her daughter got into this altercation 3 years ago. My daughter and I are just fine now. We went through something horrible back then, and we're good now. See, people always want to smear your name and run you through a gamut when you're trying to do better. No, 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 we can't do better. We got to make everybody believe that she's one of us. No, bitches. No. I'm sorry. Hate to burst your bubble, but I'm not going to go down that road with you. Like I said, if you want to bust it open on Instagram, do you? If you think that being a prostitute to feed your kids is the go-to thing in order to get money, do you? But don't bring up one problem that happened between me and my child and try to make me and you be on the same level, because that'll never happen. That will never, ever happen. I'm still not going to be busting it open on Instagram. Sorry, bitches. I'm still not going to be sitting up here talking about it's okay to hoe and sell your ass to feed your kids. Sorry, bitches. Not me. Not not now, not ever. And I'm still going to be saying that we need a better class of women, better than you. Sorry, I can't, I can't do it. Just can't do it. So there's always going to be that group of black women, like I said, like the women in my family that was trying to smear Dana because Dana came into the family with the two children. My cousin married Dana because he saw something in Dana that he liked, and they're still married to this day. They've been married going on a good 15 years now. And them old hoes in the family that kept saying that it wasn't gonna last, boop boop, got egg on your face now. Got egg on your face. People will try to make you a thing because they are what they're trying to portray you to be. Like I said, those old women that were sitting up there talking about Dana were single mothers themselves. And so there was a lot of projecting going on. Now, even though Dana was a single mother, to her credit, she carried herself so fucking classy. While they were sitting up there criticizing her with their beer in their hand and their cigarette butts all in the ashtray, Dana was not a smoker. She wasn't a drinker. She dressed in clothes that actually fit her, unlike them. And she chose a good man to help her raise those children. Something they could never do. And those bitches were jealous. And so they tried to use the fact that in her past, she got with a guy that did not fit the bill. He didn't stay with her. Dana made a mistake and she learned from it. Kind of like Sierra with Russell Wilson. The haters would try to sit up here and downgrade Sierra. But Sierra and Russell been married 9 years now, going on 10, and about to have another baby. So they're proving the haters wrong all the time. And then they try to point to Sierra's past when she made the mistake and got with Future, got pregnant by Future. And they want to wash her face over and over again with that one thing that she did in the past, as if she is living like that in the present. Won't a jealous nigga or a jealous bitch do it though? Won't they try it? So, what Sierra did was she ignored Future. She ignored him. Future would sit up there and he would just attack Sierra and her husband for no reason. He would sit up there and he would try to say that Russell is a simp because he's pushing his son in a stroller at a mall. Well, nigga, you could have been pushing your son in a stroller in the mall if you had not called off your engagement to Sierra after you found out she was pregnant. In your nigga man, you had her so you didn't have to marry her. That's what you said in your interview, right? So now you called off the wedding and you left her to be a single mother. And when a more righteous man stepped in and filled those shoes that you were not willing to fill, now you're sitting up here trying to take this man down, lying on him, lying on Sierra, trying to use Sierra's past. But Sierra learned from her mistakes. She chose better. She moved forward with her life. And Russell and Sierra, they don't even acknowledge this nigga when he's sitting up there numerous times trying to smear their name, trying to take any and every little thing that they do and blow it out of proportion to fit his jealous narrative. You got to be real careful when you're dealing with people like this. You got to be real careful with a jealous, gossiping nigga. Be real careful. Because if they're presenting information to you and it's always from a standpoint of jealousy and it seems as if they just clipped and chopped up some shit and then the stuff in between is missing, be real wary of these types of jealous crab in the barrel ass niggas, because what they want is they don't want you to be better. Just like those women in my family, they did not want Dana to be better. Dana chose poorly the first time, but she chose better the second time. I made a poor decision the first time in dealing with my family, but then I course corrected and made better choices the second time around. See, you have to, look at a situation in people's lives and nobody being perfect. It is the mistake that teaches you the lesson. And those people that constantly make dumb decisions over and over again and they're not happy with their lives and there's an emptiness inside them, they will sit up and see you doing better and they will try to sabotage you because they don't want to see you elevate because they never elevated. Understand where I'm coming from. And it's a sad state to be in. It's really sad. Well, I remember 3 years ago you did this. Yeah, I did this, but then I turned around and did that. And now I've moved on and elevated. So sorry, bitch. You're still stuck on stupid. You still doing the same dumb shit you've been doing. And you want me to continue on that trajectory so that I can be just as low class as you. But no, I want to be better. I'm striving to be a better class of woman. Now, if you don't want to be better, that's on you. I don't never ever try to drag anybody kicking and screaming into being the better version of themselves. If you want to be the worst version of yourself, go right ahead. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Cassandra Brown says, you know what this is about, Faith. Black women aren't allowed to make mistakes or acknowledge when the mistake is corrected. Exactly. You know, if you're a woman in general, if a woman makes a mistake, it is acceptable, especially in black culture, that this woman is forever that thing that she did. Even if she course corrects and she goes in a different direction and she's not even on that anymore, she is still the sum. They want to make this woman the sum total of that one mistake that she made. Whereas a man can go and make numerous, not one, but numerous mistakes. And we're willing to give that man more of a leeway, more of a pass if he course corrects. We'll celebrate him if he course corrects. But if a woman course corrects, you should have known better the first time. And you will never be able to get past the first thing that you did. Not in the eyes, especially of other women. Demetrius, we do say this if a man is reformed, a reformed thief or hoodlum. We do that all the time. There are women who are CEOs of companies that will sit up there and marry a reformed criminal. I have seen this before. As a matter of fact, that my cousin that's a lawyer, she's a criminal attorney, and she was in a relationship with a reformed Pookie. She actually met him because he became a paralegal, and she gave him a chance. He was able to kind of bounce back from his past. So please, you talking about is rare. Please, you must not deal with black women because we always grading y'all on the curve. Demetrius, really? Black men get graded on the curve so hard with black women. Hell, y'all can come up in here with goddamn no teeth, one arm, missing a leg, and we gonna grade you on the curve. Well, he ain't got no teeth, he ain't got no arm, he ain't got no leg, but he got a good heart. He's still a good man. And somebody is going to sleep with him and give him some sex. I mean, come on. Demetrius said, "Here we go. Yes, I date black women." I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just wondering. Like, do you deal with black women? Like, do you know us? I mean, because the black women that I have been seeing, man, we've been taking a lot of leftovers. Like, I'm sitting up here, like, man, how low do your self esteem got to go to be with this dirty ass nigga right here? Yellow Rose says, I know some reform hoodlums. One is a nurse and a Bible worker and doing very well. Exactly. Like we'll forgive guys that make mistakes, but if a woman makes a mistake, oh man, she'll never live it down. Never. Exactly, Cassandra. She says plenty of women are with former jailhouse dudes. Oh, Mela says, but do you actually like black women, Demetrius? Interesting question. Melanated Vessel says lots of women will give him a pass, Demetrius. Child, tell it. They sure will. They will overlook that jail record. Sometimes you got some, I'm sad to say, you got some black women that will know that a guy used to be a child molester and she could have children. And she'll give him a pass. Well, that was what he did in the past. He probably ain't molesting no children no more. You know, come on in the house, come live with us. Man, Demetrius, what black women, please. We grade y'all on the curve so much, but a black woman can do not even that much and be judged completely harshly. And I want you guys to hear this and hear this loud and clear. On the subject of domestic violence towards women, black women have a high mortality rate. And this is not me saying this. This is facts, okay? There are plenty of studies, plenty of research to back that up. Now, with that said, I'm going to tell you about something about certain women that I don't like, that I see all the time. Miller says, I can agree with the avoid felons advertisements. Yes. I see a lot of women doing this. The other day, I was somewhere. Where the hell was I? I was at this I was at Walmart. You know how they have the little pickup area where you park your car, and this Walmart is across from this apartment complex. And so there was a altercation across the street at the apartment complex where you could look, because of the where my car was parked, I could look and I can see on the third floor where this woman and this guy, they're arguing. And so I can see the man turning his back on the woman and he's trying to leave out the door, because at first the argument started with them in the door. And I see a woman spreading her legs across the door like she's blocking the guy from leaving. She's actually blocking this man from leaving. And I said, she need to get her ass out the way. This nigga's gonna probably, knock her out the way because it's illegal. Do you understand? See, I had to learn a lot about the law. When you block a person from leaving, by rights, they can knock your ass out the way and not go to jail because you are obstructing them from leaving. So, ladies, I want to, talk to you about some of the stuff that I've seen some of you doing. Blocking the door, not letting him leave. Bonehead thing for you to do. Stop doing that. If he wants to go, let that motherfucker go. Okay, just let him go. That's number one. Number two, the other thing that I saw this woman doing, because the guy was eventually able to remove her from the door. He's a guy, he's got man strength. So he eventually got out the door. Why did she run behind him? She picked up some kind of pot or something and she threw it at his head. Now she provoking this man to turn around and whoop her ass because she is not letting him go. She's not letting him go. Melanated says, I've only ever seen teens moving that way. Oh no, you'll be surprised, Melanated. It's some grown, stupid ass motherfuckers that still acting like teenagers doing this shit. So I was scared for her when she threw that pot or whatever that was at his head, that vase or whatever the hell that shit was. I was too far away to see what it was. I was scared for her because I'm thinking to myself, it's on now. Cause she done, laid, done touched him. She done touched him. And so he turned around and he pointed at her like he was saying something to her. And I was so happy to see him turning back around to leave. When he turned back around to leave, she ran and got in front of him and started pushing him back towards the apartment building. And I'm like, oh my God, I had to cover my ass as I'm thinking to myself, oh good Lord, he gonna well off on this chick. Like, why is she not let this man go? I had to cover my ass. I'm like, he gonna pop off on her ass. Demetrius says, she says I said you ain't going nowhere. That's exactly what it looked like. Like she wasn't trying to let him go nowhere. And so she kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And I put my hand over my ass and I heard her scream, ah, you hit me. And I heard that clear from where I was sitting in my parking lot. Sure enough, he knocked her ass down on the ground. Sure enough, he knocked her ass down on the ground. And I'm thinking to myself, that's what the fuck you get. Because you had 3 different occasions where you could have left that man alone, let him leave, and you kept trying to get him to go back. But here's the funny thing that happened after that. She said, I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police. You hit me. That's what I hear her say. And now, if I was not sitting there and if I hadn't actually watched everything that I saw, I would have probably been on her side because I would have been like, oh man, black men, they always, femicide and they always jumping on, they always jumping on black women. And, I would have been on her side. But I saw what I saw. So she on her cell phone, righteous. Yeah, he right here. His name is Martavius. Blah, 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 blah. She is going off and shit. Yeah, he hit me and this, that, and the other. And he was trying to get in my house and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, he trying to get in your. She was lying her ass off. She was lying, y'all. She was lying her motherfucking ass off. And so by that time, when she was on the phone, my stuff had come out. They had loaded my car up, but I wanted to see what the fuck was going to happen. So I parked and waited. The police came and they separated them because you know how the police do. They going to separate you. And next thing I know, dude was like, what? I'm being arrested for assault. They put them cuffs on that dude. They took him the fuck on up out of there because she had a black eye. She had the black eye. And I was just like, that's how it is. That's exactly how the fuck it is. So, sometimes when I be seeing a lot of these women sitting up here talking about, domestic violence and all that other stuff, I now have a very, very different perspective on that. Very, very different. Because she assaulted him several times while I was sitting there watching. And she didn't go to jail. They didn't arrest her. They ain't put no handcuffs on her. None of that. None of that. Yeah, Demetrius is some BS. Yellow Rose of Texas says, I've heard a woman sit up on BMT's channel and say it's right if a woman hits a man, but if a man hit a woman, let all hell break loose. Yeah, that's bullshit. That is bullshit. And I'm gonna tell you, and this is the law with anybody. It don't even have to be a man-woman situation. It could be two women fighting. Whoever wins the fight, you may have won, but you going to jail. That's the rule. Whoever got beat up the worst, that's who's innocent, and you're going to jail. That's how it works. Unless there's an eyewitness there to exonerate both of you, the person that won the fight going to jail. So now you all know how shit rolled downhill. So that's the reason why on my channel, it's not an echo chamber. I'm not going to be 1000% for the women or 1000% for the men, because I know that there's fuckery on both sides. Absolutely, there's fuckery on both sides. And I'm going to call out the fuckery on both sides, because experience is a good teacher. I've gone through it myself. Yeah, it don't matter if you were struck first. If you were struck first and you did collateral damage on the other person, where the other person has marks on them, they're bleeding, they got a black eye, anything. If you don't have no marks on you, if you win the fight, that's your ass. Unless there's somebody there to validate you and say, hey, no, this wasn't this person, it was this person. If you don't have nobody there to validate you, whoever did the most damage going to jail. That's because that's what the police can only go by. So yeah, it's kind of like you can defend yourself, but don't defend yourself too well. Demetrius said, that's why I advocate for men to call the cops on her. Start dancing. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. Yellow Rose says, everyone needs to keep their hands to themselves. Once that stops happening, there's not enough tears, flowers, chocolates, trips, or sorries in the world. The relationship is over. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, so if you and another woman is in a fight, melanated vessel, and that woman struck you first, make sure you have an eyewitness. Like, hey, look around. Did anybody see that? Did anybody see her hit me? Make sure you got an eyewitness. Now, once you get the eyewitness, okay, I want you to be a witness to the fact that this person hit me, because now I'm about to beat their ass. Now you can whoop their ass because you got an eyewitness that this person started the shit. Look around, see if there's some cameras. Because if you beat their ass and you do a better job of beating their ass than they did of starting the shit with you, like they could be the shit starter. If you the shit finisher and you finish better than they started, you're going to jail. Right, commence the whooping their ass. Yes. I will never tell anybody not to defend themselves. What's up, D Rail in the house? So, these are, things that I've been through personally that I could tell you without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, that shit happens. Just a regular guy says that melanated vessel facts. He purposely runs down Black Women Channel, then brags about it on Arts Channel, and they're manosphere heavy there. Oh, okay. I don't know who y'all talking about. Wait a minute, hold on. BMT tries to pretend he's not manosphere. It's very strange how many married men are manosphere. Weird. There are a lot of you know what? There's a lot of ex manosphere. There's a lot of current manosphere. Some people were manosphere, like O'Shea was one of the founders of the manosphere, and now he's not even claiming manosphere. It's weird. It's a weird phenomenon. But you know what? I don't get in the middle of that shit. I let them do what they do. Manosphere is dead though. I mean, those motherfuckers, they got aired out so bad over these last couple of years. It's ridiculous. They ain't there. There's not even nothing left of them anymore. When you got one of the founding fathers not even claiming the manosphere, you know that shit is dead. The melanated vessel, there's a lot of married men in the manosphere. A lot of them don't understand it, but hey, it is what it is. But anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, so basically, y'all, which founding father? Yellow Rose. I'm talking about O'Shea. O'Shea was one of the founding fathers of the manosphere. He does not claim that shit anymore. He's done with that shit. Melanated Vessel says, me neither. Once I hear folks talk, you get a general sense of how they move. So exactly. Exactly. So to sum things up, because I don't want to make this a long live stream. I got things I want to do. Yesterday's live stream, y'all, it turned out to be damn near, was it 4 hours, 5 hours? I don't know how my live streams be lasting so long. I think I'm gonna start opening the panel less because I think the panels really prolong the live stream. Because I was only supposed to be up there yesterday for maybe just an hour or two, and hell, I ended up having a goddamn marathon stream. But at any rate, y'all, the moral of the story is you got a lot of miserable people out here. But in reference to what I'm talking about as far as Black women, there's a lot of miserable women out here that don't want that line to be drawn in the sand. They don't. They don't want to be a better class of women themselves. They don't want to see you grow and elevate. So what do? Smear campaign. What do? They don't want to change. They're going to try to make it seem as if you're the villain for even suggesting change. And I'm here to say, I'm done with all of it. Done with all of it. Yeah, Dita Rail, those panels be, my God. I was sitting up there, I opened up that goddamn panel. Next thing I know, I'm looking up like, God damn, I'm late for my appointment. Q Savage says this is college move in these next 2 weeks if you got college age kids. Yes. Demetrius says, right, Faith. If she want to spread her ass on Twitter and IG, that's your business. Exactly. Exactly. Like I said, I don't try to tell women what to do with their lives or anything like that. Only thing I can do is make a suggestion, because we all adults. Like when I said, as far as like parenting your children after they become adults, you're in an advisory mode now. You cannot dictate to grown people what they should or should not do. The only thing you can do is advise. And so on this channel, I don't try to dictate to anybody anything. I put out what my perspective is. I go into an advisory mode, and you can take it or leave it. But some people, they're so goddamn triggered even by the concepts of what I'm saying that they can't just leave it, just be like, okay, Faith, I don't agree with what you say, I'm just going to leave it. No, now I'm going to smear Faith. I'm going to make up lies about her. I'm going to take things that she said out of context, and then I'm going to say she's not a better class of women because I'm empty. I have a void on the inside, and I don't want to better myself. So I'm going to attack this person. That's what a lot of losers do. People that are losing in life, people that don't want to elevate, people that don't want to be better. If they see you winning in life, elevating and doing better, they're going to bring you back to a bad time in your life where you were not elevated, as if you have not gained insights and you have not risen from that situation. They're going to pretend like you're still there, stuck in that situation. And I can't stand disingenuous bitches like this. I really can't. So with that said, I've been on here about an hour, 30 minutes. I think this is pretty good for a morning chit chat. Tell me what you think in the comments sections. And with that, I have got to say I love each and every one of you. Please like the video, share the video, and I'm out. Holla. Peace.